So the pregame is your house. Noted.
Exactly.
I should
Have
just leave. I should just leave that part in there. Like they can say, "Oh, pre-gaming at Raw Star's house." Yeah.
Yeah, pregame at Ross Stars.
No, to give a real introduction. Hey, what's
come
on, everybody?
in.
This is
I'll be there.
everybody just comes to Raw Star's house anyway. It just feels like it's the place to go to when everybody comes into town, and it's like, oh, let's just go there.
Mhm. For real,
And
I'm taking
I've
a lot of people over. Like, hey,
I
come on.
think I just come to accept it because like ever since I don't live in like a townhouse or an apartment, and so it's just like, oh, Rockstar has a pool and a pool house. Let's just go over
Mhm.
there and just
That's why
yeah,
you're the pregame.
And
Is
it's
it are the after party at your house too?
yeah, like yeah.
yeah,
It's
he's
one of
got
those.
condoms and stuff, so everyone can after party safely if they want to.
I have
See?
condoms and I have
Yes.
enemas and
Plan
I
B.
have Plan Bs and I have everything you need to do for to be safe and to not get in trouble. Well, I rephrase that. I
Even
won't say not.
Narcan, think
I
about
won't.
it. Like,
I won't say not get into trouble, but like to be responsible.
Hmm.
I even have those at home kits that you send to TTS or whatever to for your so you don't got to go to
for
CET
your
or TTS or Clear. I even have those here at this house. So it's like
everything.
like in yes, make sure everybody's safe, so
Yeah.
we don't contract anything, Yeah, I went to Rosshar's house and they had a little orgy over there and and this happened. No, no.
Mm-mm. You didn't get it here. You got it when you left.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
and the fact that I don't drink alcohol, but I have alcohol here, it's like,
Mm.
oh, we have someone who's going to be alert the entire time to make sure that at least some of the stuff we're doing is consensual, you know?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. It's so fun.
So do we need to ask again? Like, I don't know why I'm the place everybody wants to come
Exactly.
to.
Right. I'm like, come on,
I
Ross.
feel like you just listed all the reasons why.
I've come to
Absolutely.
accept it, and then also because like I have a room just in my house of just full of unused sex toys, and people come over and they literally people have come to my house to grab one or two things to go to go on set or on to do a custom with somebody because it's there.
Mm.
hmm
And
Exactly. Instead of having to go out and buy stuff, like imagine like you're traveling in at the last minute and then they tell you like, oh, we're changing the scene from this to this. And you're like,
Oh.
oh crap, I need that toy or I need that outfit. The first thing we do is ask Froster, like, hey, can you see him in your spare box? This
yeah,
like
and
makes it
then
so much
most
better. It's
Don't
like
listen, noted for next month.
mhm.
yeah, like oh
Exactly. It
yeah, are
makes
you
your
coming here?
trips go so
X3?
much smoother.
Say
Real
no,
quick,
no
real quick,
for January.
before we get too deep into this, hey everybody, what's up? Are you listening to the Misfit Effect? And welcome in. And of course, I'm joined with my beautiful, tasty, the person who just squirted before she got on here, and
Mhm.
didn't let me watch when she was up here getting ready, and I feel offended. The beautiful Miss Sarah Lace.
That's right. So I actually just got a custom order request for a pair of panties. So I had to get that done today so I can go ahead and edit that video and ship those panties out tomorrow. Super
Yes,
squirter
ma'am.
and right. And speaking of super squirters, I actually would like to start off with a question. So I do want to introduce the gorgeous Karina Valentina, but I do want to start ask with a question.
Okay.
Do you squirt?
I do. I I didn't know I was.
Yeah.
I learned in a moment and it was one of those I'm
Yeah.
sorry moment
Yeah.
is how I first learned I could do it.
That's actually how it happened with me. So like, like at least for me it happened like you get the first orgasm like normal and then they keep building it up,
Yes.
either by using another toy or like extra stimulation, and you just kind of have that squirt, like that gushing release, and you're like, whoa.
Yes.
Definitely catch
Absolutely
up
really.
first, for sure.
Yeah, so my first initial reaction, because we didn't talk about that, and I wasn't sure if they were okay with it, was like to apologize.
Mhm.
Because I was actually, he was eating me out and I squirted in his face. And I
Oh,
didn't know it was gonna happen until it
yeah.
happened. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But they were like, no, I liked it. I was like, okay. Whew. So that could have gone way worse, but lucky for me, it didn't.
At
Right?
Um,
least he,
That's what I
at
love.
least he knew it was squirt and not piss. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, unless that was they're into that thing, but still.
Right? Because I feel like it makes
yeah.
it I feel good to know that he pleasured you to that extent. You didn't
Yeah.
have just a regular orgasm. You fucking came,
Yeah.
girl.
And
It was waterworks. I'm sorry.
I always say like what's crazy is like I've recorded a lot of squirter people, just doing their thing, but I've
Mhm.
never recorded someone squirting. Never.
Right?
In
You
my
mentioned that in what,
Really?
6 years, no one's ever squirted
no
on his
in
head.
the 16 years
Yeah,
that I've
16
recorded
years.
people having sex, I have never had someone squirt while I was the one doing the camera. Now
Right?
they've
We need
done
to
it
make it happen. We need
they've
to.
done it they've done it in
No.
my household like if like I'm not in the room and someone else recording and I don't need to be in there. I don't like because for me I don't like to stand in or like if I'm not recording and it's too like they just have a cameraman and like the lights are set up. I don't need to be in there. So I just go in my little old room and just, play video games while they do what they do. And then I'm like, oh, y'all squirted. Okay. But
Wait,
I've never recorded like someone like, oh, there's water coming at me in my life.
I've squirted to the point where I like blurred the camera and they were like, wait, we have to stop. The camera's like blurry now. I'm like, oh God, sorry.
Oh my God, I've
Wow.
done
That's
that
a
before. And mind you, one time I was like recording this for solo for myself, and I had it in selfie mode, and I squirted on my phone camera. And mind you, it squirted on the record button. So it literally stopped the recording for me. And I was like, oh, no, like mid squirt, I was like, oh my
No,
God. And then come to realize, I guess I squirted in that same spot again. So it turned it back on.
that's so cool.
I was like, a special skill I didn't know I had. There you
That's
go.
wild. That's so cool. See, I've squirted on the phone before and I panicked thinking like, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna ruin.
Right?
That's always I'm always like worried I'm gonna mess like wet the phone and mess it up.
See, I'm so glad that they make them like water resistant now, where you don't necessarily need to worry about it, whether it has a case or not.
Yeah.
So as long
hmm
as it's not submerged in more than I think 6 feet of water, you're fine. But like, I don't know how many of us could squirt that much.
Oh
So,
my God. Yeah, that's excessive.
right?
Yeah. I
But hey, someone's about to do it. Someone's bound
just
to
want to
be.
see. Someone needs to do that. How much can the phone take?
oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Someone's got to do that. We had to find that. See if
Mhm.
someone's tried it yet.
Oh my God. Okay, we've got to say this. Oh, please tell us about yourself really quick, just so people know who you are really quick for the unfortunate people
Mhm.
before we get
Okay.
these deep conversations about squirting and
Oh yeah,
Brawl Stars house having all these sex toys and you know.
I know.
Mhm.
You ever want to go to the after party? It's at his house. Um, so my name is Karina Valentina. I've been creating content for about 4 years now. I started as a lifestylist. And we still do that, just it's
Mhm.
more on the content creating side now versus that.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. And I'm kind of like a free for all. I kind of live by like I try everything twice.
Mhm.
So just because mistakes are going to be made, so I'm like, okay, I will know what I like after I've tried it twice.
Mhm.
So I to this point, I'm pretty much open to anything. Um, and I don't know. I do a little bit of everything. Um, as of recent, I learned that I really like piss play. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, cool. So I have to throw that in there because I don't have a lot of it, but I have to like make people know that I do like that.
Okay.
Let me ask this question then. Is it giving or receiving that you like?
Receiving. Is that odd?
No, 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 no. I always ask that
Everyone has different
because
tastes.
like there is I always throw this in there because he's a real good friend of the podcast. Like there was a time where everybody was talking about they enjoyed getting peed on.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when we asked them who did like who started for you, they all said the exact same dang old person. So it was just hilarious for a while. And I get it, but I don't get it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And
So the first time I did it, and I've done it like three times now. But the first time I did it, it was someone who knew what they were doing. Like I physically watched them like drink all this water and
Okay.
then go clear out and then drink more water and then clear out and drink more water. Like it was a span of like a couple hours of just like
Mm-hmm.
constantly doing. So when it finally happened, it was like clear, like there was no taste. Like this person knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been terrified to like continue to kind of go down that road just because I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay, I had a really good experience the first time because this person knew what they were doing. Now I'm like, okay, am I always going to come across people that know what they're doing? Probably not. So those are things like I have to, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I watch this person do it like this, so you've got to do it like this because that's how it
Yeah.
worked for me.
was
um,
it the performer person, a performer, or just someone
yeah,
impersonal? Okay.
yeah, he's out of Vegas.
Ooh.
Yes. You want to know who?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're curious.
Boswell.
Boswell.
I don't
That
know
name sounds
Boswell.
so familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know Boswell. Okay. No, because I was wondering because the person who I'm talking about is out of Vegas too, that just
Oh,
pisses on everybody. And I'm like, if she messes around and say this person name too, I'm just gonna get up and laugh for a second to come back down.
who are you thinking
Okay.
about?
You said what?
Who do you have in mind?
Scotty P.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he
huh. I've not met him.
You might want to try him out then if you want to do a little bit of piss play because
yeah,
we've heard around the block that
he like
nobody.
there's at least 13 people I know he pissed on.
13. Why is
At
that
least
number so specific?
oh
You
because
know
I
exactly
counted
how many.
I counted before and like every time someone like one thing about me is I'm really good with my numbers. So I always add stuff to whatever, so it just stays with me. The same thing
So
with
if I
dates and
tell
stuff.
you we did that, you'll remember that it's 14.
Yeah.
Hmm. He's a history buff.
That's
Like,
impressive. That's impressive.
yeah.
To
Yeah.
know that number off the top of your head, that's impressive.
And what's sad is like the thing is like I can name off like at least five of them, people,
Hmm.
whatever. But the thing is like
Mhm.
I would have to really think about everybody else.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, it was this person on this date. I seen this person leave, like I seen them leave this porn star karaoke, and he left with two girls, and he did that to them too. So
I think I know that story actually, or was that one in the bowling alley
that's
where
a
they?
bowling, the bowling alley one, but that wasn't Scotty P.
Okay,
That was somebody
Wait,
else.
it's
basically
the
they
bowling alley?
they did it
Huh?
outside in the parking lot right after like a bowling alley event.
Mm.
Yeah, but that wasn't Scotty P. That
That's
was
how I remember the
Okay.
thing.
I was like,
I have,
wait, no.
well, like okay, you're in Atlanta. There used to be this thing called porn star bowling and porn star karaoke, and
mhm.
They
one
do
of the
that here?
store, huh?
They do that here?
They did
Oh,
that in LA.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we used to do that in LA.
And during the time they were doing porn star karaoke, that he peed in two people's mouths at like during the time they recorded it somewhere outside, and that became that, you know. But what
Hmm.
she's talking about was porn star bowling, and it was a different performer, and the person just was talking about, you know me for a while, you never pissed in my mouth, and they had this whole conversation, and that scene, I ended up having to record, but it was so weird because like I have the camera on them doing whatever, but I'm
Hmm.
so focused on my feet to make sure the pee doesn't, scroll down and hit my shoes.
In the parking lot?
There was a bit
Yeah,
of
in
like
the
a
parking lot. Yeah,
downhill, so he was like, it was all kind of coming down towards
yeah.
him, and he
And
was,
they were using my door as a
The block,
as
like
a
a,
block. Yeah. Oh,
oh my gosh.
mhm. Been
yes.
crazy. I mean, as porn stars, we think outside the box. We tend to do crazy things as opposed to what the normal people would consider
Yeah,
them. You know,
that is true too. Like,
For us,
yeah,
it's a little more normalized to do something as insane as that.
yeah, because I catch myself like having conversations with people, and it's funny because obviously a lot of the people that I know were lifestyle, right? So it's like we have these conversations, and then I stop to think for a moment, like these are conversations you can't have with like normal people, like the neighbor or the you like regular friends in your vanilla life. Like these are not conversations you.
Exactly, for
So
real.
I kind of like my husband and I sometimes we go back and forth, and I'm like, honey, like the things we talk about that are so normal.
Hmm.
Think to myself, like, if someone overheard this conversation right now,
They would be so
yeah,
confused.
they would be very concerned. Like,
At this point, my friends who are vanilla, they've heard things that they just accepted at this point.
mm,
Yeah, they just accepted it because they know my friends. They say, "Oh my
yeah,
God."
stuff of weird. Okay, I have a question for you. I know,
Okay.
but so those vanilla friends that don't do this, that know what you do,
Mm-hmm.
um, is there ever a conversation about what you do with your vanilla friends? Like, do they ever bring stuff? Are they ever curious? Do they ever wonder? Do they ever ask?
Well, see,
I have had people ask me before, definitely.
Like, what do they ask? And how do they approach that? Like, I
see, the thing
I've
is,
only
like,
told maybe like a handful of people, and I've usually initiated the conversation for, whatever reason, just things like, hey, I'm going to be out of town. Oh, why? And then I have to explain to them what I do because, whatever. Anyway,
Hmm.
yeah,
well, for
how does that
me,
go? Like, how does it go when they like want to ask you something?
for me, it's like I'm not a performer. I'm just a guy with the camera, and I'm the guy who just knows how to, do things behind the scenes.
Hmm.
So it's way different than being a performer. But the thing is, the questions that I get asked are more so is, do you know blah blah? Have you recorded blah blah blah?
Mm.
Have you had sex and not in that,
Yeah.
not that nice, like with
Okay.
blah blah blah, or whatever. And like people just are surprised to know that I've only entered one vagina as a porn performer in my life, as in the 16 years I've been in porn, because it's not something I go after like that, because it's not
Hmm.
Hmm.
it's not what they're there for, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's different for her. She can answer that because she's a performer.
Yeah, so I feel like the types of questions definitely vary according to the kind of person. So, for example, like I spent some time in the military, and so those people, like, military people, they tend to be a little more freaky side too. So they're a little bit more kind of understanding of what I do and stuff like that. They'll definitely make jokes, but in a like fun way, instead of trying to like demean you, be like, oh, you do this. They'll jokingly be like, oh, whatever, like I don't have a specific example, but I've had friends just kind of jokingly like, oh, and you've probably already had this person, right? Like he's like, you had my dream, like that kind of. And I will say, I do get a lot of like questions of like, how I do something behind the scenes, or like how does this conversation come up? Like, how do I message people and basically say, I want to fuck you for content? Some of my friends are just like, they think a little bit deeper in that. Like, how do you even go about that? You know? And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
what's the
okay,
process of like how do you end up at the same place at the same time and then put it on camera? Yeah. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to. So for me, and ironically enough, so I have a neighbor who, so she was under the impression that I just stayed home. Like my husband works, does his thing, but she was under the impression that I didn't. Right. So when I started traveling a lot more, the question came up like, what are you doing? Like, why are you
Mm-hmm.
traveling? Where are you going by yourself? And why do you need, like, why? Right?
Mm-hmm.
We were friends enough to where she felt comfortable enough to ask me why. Well, I couldn't come up with a decent lie on the spot. So I was like, listen, okay.
Yeah.
So I just gave her the business like right then and there. And come to find out, she's actually a photographer. She shoots like boudoir stuff
Okay.
and sells like pure romance stuff, like sex toys and stuff. So I was like, so she's actually over the years that I've known her, she's actually like giving me lubes to try and stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. But like the conversation, like it doesn't ever really pop up. Like I talked to her today and she's like, hey, I need a favor. And I'm like, listen, I've got this thing today, just so you know. Oh, what is it? And then I tell her, and then it's it. Like there's not
Yeah.
like a huge, right? But it's crazy to me, like the handful of people that I have told on my own,
Mhm.
on my own are a lot more accepting, a lot more freaky than I thought people to be, just
Yes,
generally across the
absolutely.
board. Like I'm usually like, and not to sit here and get religious or anything, but they go to church every weekend. Like they're like, and so I was like, oh my God, like, whoa, like the people that I
I
Exactly.
want to throw something out there.
accepting are
The church
usually
going
in the
folks
same
sometimes are the worst
realm.
ones.
Say that
Yeah.
again.
Sometimes the church folks tend to be the worst ones because they'll just go on Sunday and repent, and then they'll go back the rest of the week, do whatever they do, and think
All
just
right.
because they repent on Sunday that is okay. Like I always like shake my head at that. Like, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. When you repent, you're just trying to say that I won't do it again. Like
Yeah.
that's
Sorry.
technically what it is. But I'm like, okay, just
Forgive me this week.
admit that you're freaky. Okay, just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm freaky. This is just who I am. Forgive me.
I mean, in my opinion, it's just a lot of people like once they find out,
Mm-hmm.
either one, they are low key gonna look you up and then say, "Oh, I know blah blah," and and say, "Oh, yeah, okay," and then you have the other people that's like is gonna just call you a mindless, gonna call you, something derogatory, but
Mhm.
like more so, if they're your friends, they're gonna look you up and
Mm-hmm.
like saying, "Oh," and then just wonder if you're going to work with a certain performer at one point, depending on how big your name gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
See, I actually have found out recently that my neighbor is, so mind you, she is this black trans woman,
Hmm.
and she actually does drag. So she goes and does drag, and she also does like competitions and stuff. So like it really kind
That's
of
cool.
came up with her basically telling me that she knows that she recognized me, but she doesn't know from where. And my he's smoking, shooting the shit, like just having a normal conversation. And then basically my neighborhood, they think I'm this like YouTuber, like influencer model kind of thing,
Mm.
especially since I get a lot of like packages, and I like because I
Oh,
like doing like try on videos, striptease for my OnlyFans and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I end up accumulating a lot of packages. So I ended up just telling them like, oh yeah, these are just packages from PR companies that want me to promote their brand.
Advertise. Yeah.
That was how my like live started. And then
Mhm.
she finally told me what she does, and she was like, and I'm actually trying to figure out how to get some more of like boudoir style selfies and this and that. And I'm like, oh, I could help you with that one. Like, I actually gave her a tripod and a Bluetooth clicker. Like, showing her how to pose and everything. And that's when she was like, "That's where I know you from. You do it." She was like, "I saw you on Pornhub. That's how I know you." And I was like, "All right, time to come clean, you
Yeah,
know?"
I gotta tell you the truth.
Yep. I was like, this lie only lasted so long.
I don't know if I told you this, but like Sarah, but I had like I was at my high school reunion and
Oh,
someone took me to the side. It was like, so, and they said my real name, but they said, so how can I get into this industry? And they broke down like the weirdest thing in the world to me is someone who wants to get in the industry and they explain what they want to do in the industry, and it's like a male talking to me, and they feel like they need to show me their genitalia to say,
Yeah.
I can do this with said performer. I can, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's it's a video on YouTube that got really popular for a few days about like you know those people who walk up to people like, hey, you know, those influence whatever, and like so and they kept saying they want to show me their dick. It's like for me, I'm sorry. Okay. I can direct you to the right people. I can tell you who to contact. But for the love of God, don't show me your dick. I,
Bro.
I'm not interested in seeing your dick. I'm not interested in seeing
there's
anybody's dick outside of my. I don't even like seeing my dick. Like I pee and put it right away. So
Right? Like, see, just because we've seen it all doesn't mean we want to see it, you know? Like, doesn't mean we want to see unsolicited photos or videos of
yeah,
I don't even
people,
like looking at my dick if someone's touching. It's like okay, they're doing what they're doing. I don't gotta look. You know.
right? It's like,
there's a
I,
sense of like comfortability that they find
yeah,
that
I
like
so.
it's kind of odd. Like it's see for me, I because of my personal life, like there is a level of like I was wearing a hoodie and some sweatpants before I jumped on here. And I'm like, okay, let me get fixed right. And then when I go back outside or downstairs or whatever, like I will get back in my comfortable clothes just because there's a way that I carry myself. Like I live in a small town outside of Atlanta. So there's a way that I have to carry myself, right? So it's like I'm living this like hidden life because I'm like, I don't want to carry myself in a way where they look at me and think, yeah, she's a hoe. And I'm like, well, I am, right? But you're not going to know that unless you go look me
Exactly.
There's
up.
nothing
Okay.
wrong with being a hoe.
See, I think of it like Hannah Montana, but porn version, where you have to have two sides to yourself, you
Yeah.
know? So
Right.
you can have your peace and be like a regular person at home. And
Mm-hmm.
then once the cameras are on, you can be your stage name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I hate is that people like try to just forget the fact that just because you know you might be wholesome or whatever at certain points doesn't mean you like because everybody on this earth got here because of some sort of sex.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it be you know like they sex inside of a tube and they got
You are
injected.
made in a tube. You know,
You
Yeah,
still someone
people
had to
still
jerk off
living.
into a tube.
you,
So
yeah.
everybody is here because of some sort of form of sex. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to stop with the ideology that you know we are sexual beings, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
and yeah. But
Exactly.
anywho,
Anyways, at the end, what we do is we sell entertainment in the form of sex. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah,
we're still actors just like mainstream. The only difference is we take our clothes off and we entice people in a different way.
you take your
Mm-hmm.
clothes off, Sarah?
I mean, I don't need to take my clothes off to do what I gotta do, but you know,
Oh
I'm
my God, I never knew that.
a fan of upskirt. I don't need to take
The
anything off
mouth
my
works with clothes
panties. Exactly.
on.
That
So
reminds me, I want to do a video where I'm like, just think of like Big Bear or whatever with like that much snow and just being a cute little like sexy snow gear outfit with booty cheeks out getting pounded in the middle of nowhere. Yep. Fantasies. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's why I love porn. I get to live out my fantasies. Like things I can imagine. I'm like, all right, let's see if I can film that.
So I have a question. You said you've been learning new kinks that you're into. What other ones have you come across that you say, "Oh, I like that"?
So, okay, a new one for me. And I've just kind of dabbled. Like we've talked about doing it. Like I've talked about my husband's talked about setting it up for me only because he knows me. He knows who I like and stuff like that. Um, DNC, like consensual,
Okay.
consensual.
Yeah.
Like there's so I like to be like choked and taken advantage of and like
Hmm.
very athletic, but like my husband has a way where he's fucking me and his foot is in my face, like kind of just shove. I don't know how he does it. It's
Oh, I know what you
very
mean.
flexible. But I like it's what I like. I like it rough. I like
Mhm.
it like I'm purple in the face. Just leave your hand there. Like just what I enjoy. So we've talked about doing like the consensual, non-consensual, but I'm like, I'm nervous. I want to know, but I don't want to know. We tried
Mhm.
one time when we did our ex-biz house in Miami um,
Mhm.
back in May, and like he just kind of like came up behind me while I was doing photos, and I had it on my pin for a little while. But he just kind of came up behind me, and I was like, oh my God. And literally, like on camera, I'm like, oh my God. I was so shocked. But I was like, no, this is okay. This is all right. So we've dabbled a little and that wasn't the
Mhm.
time. Like he kind of would like poke around and just kind of find me in the house, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
kind of cool. And between he and my husband, like they set up where like he was recording and he would just, hey, go walk in and interrupt or whatever, right? Stuff like that. So I'm trying to like we're trying to figure out like the good time to like be able to do that. Um,
Mhm.
because the little bit that we've dabbled, I'm like, okay, I
You're like,
like
oh, all
I like
right.
this. I gotta play it out. I gotta
Mhm.
see it through to see if I really like it. So I'm hoping we can get
Mhm.
that up and do that. But I told him like there's I was like, I want this person, and this because they know me, they know my body, they know like it's people that I've known for a while that are
Yeah.
around. So I'm like, okay, these people are our friends. Like I've known them for years. Like these are the only people I'm good with.
Yeah,
So,
so they can see your micro cues, you know, because
yeah,
even though you may be role playing CNC, at the end of the day, that person still wants to make sure that everything you're doing is still okay. You
yeah,
know, I feel
yeah,
like that's a very important part about it that people
hmm
tend to forget. They
yeah,
think that you say you like that and they can just go all the way.
yes,
But no, there's still safe words, guys. There's still measures of protection that we do so we can be able to feel safe in these environments when we play rougher, you know?
right,
And
right.
I think this is another case would be like that whole like primal and prey fetish.
Hmm.
Like that low key, that might be another one that you might get
I
into.
like I like
So
the way it sounds.
yeah,
Have
so
you?
basically you
Oh, you
can
should do the
like
test.
yeah, she should do the test. There's like a kink test that shows you what kind of levels, like kinky levels you are, what things that you might want to try and explore, you know?
Oh,
But
that sounds cool.
think of primal and prey fetish as like imagine you're out hiking and all of a sudden you hear a twig snap and you feel like there's someone behind you and you start to run and that person takes chase until eventually they catch you and they start fucking you good.
I feel like that made me a little wet. I'm not. Yeah, tingled.
I, I feel like
Just
CNC
the idea. Like,
CNC plays a little bit in that whole primal fetish,
hmm.
you know, that whole
Yeah,
being chased, being tackled down and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
hmm.
That's yes. That's exactly where I would fall.
See, I won't say it's my imagination. I will actually say it's because I read a lot of romance novels. So I
Mm.
get a lot of ideas on things that I would like to try, you know, and
Oh,
some things I just end up just fantasizing about. I'm just like, okay, one of these days that will happen. Just got to wait for the right time, you
I
know?
love that. And see, when you're trying, okay, I'm like a firm believer in like when you're trying like things like that, like the whole piss thing, right? It was
Hmm.
that I knew, it was someone that I trusted, someone that like all the experiences with him have been good. So I'm like, okay, if you know how to do this, I will take your word for it, right? And like So the relation, like, okay, this CNC thing, like that we've been attempting to put together, the
Yeah.
reason it hasn't come together is because I told my husband, these are the people that I want,
Mhm.
right? These people that I trust, that I know. Um, and one of them actually was like, I don't know that I can do that to you. And I'm like, really? Like, I
Mhm.
know that I know that you love me and I love you, but like, come on. Like,
Right? I
I
know.
would
so
say this,
like like yeah, there's a lot, like I love these people, right? There's like a
Mhm.
love, friendship, love that like they're like, I don't want to hurt you. I'm like, you're not gonna hurt me. You know me. Like, like you said, the micro cues. I'm like, these things. That's why I need you.
I want to say this, like, and this is just coming from my perspective as someone who has worked in my capacity. Like, I'm so huge on consent.
Hmm.
Like for example, there's people who have taken pictures. I've taken like probably like 15 photo shoots of Sarah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and let's say her hair like she has it now is just in the way. Like, I stand like way in the back. Like, it's okay if I move your. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so
Hmm.
nervous about touching people
Hmm.
and like having them, be weirded out because of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm too overly cautious. So me thinking of consensual, not like I know you're okay with it, but I'm like, can I even touch you? Like, are you like? eh, 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 eh. Even like heck, it's to the point. It's to the point now. If I give somebody a hug, or about to take a picture with them, I say, "Is it okay if I touch your waist?" Like, yeah,
Exactly. He's
Where,
that kind of person.
where
So,
can I put my hand?
no, no, even touching I don't. I'm very alert where I'm with my hand at, but like, so it's like far enough that if I raise my hand, I'm not going to hit your breast, but low
Hmm.
enough that I'm not going to hit your butt if I go down. So I
mhm.
pick that happy medium. But
Yeah.
even before I even touch your back or whatever, can I touch your side? So I'm so cautious of that asking me or asking someone like me to do a CNC would be, like it would hurt your head because like I'm so weary.
I get
Yeah.
it. But see,
Yeah.
I see two sides to it. One of them, it kind of just reflects the kind of person that they are. And
Hmm.
then there's another part where, especially when this is a content creator, they essentially think to themselves, like, I don't want to be seen in this image, or I don't want people to think that in case anything goes wrong, that I did something wrong. You know,
Hmm.
like some people are so worried about their images that they don't necessarily let loose to be able to have that fun. They end up more worried and they're like, all right, I'll just stick with the vanilla stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and see, like again, that's why I'm so adamant about the people that I know. Like these are people that I for years that are here, like, that I've and I'm like, that's why I want these people because I've enough to where my body, what it's gonna
Exactly.
like. We don't even have to like we will, obviously. Like
Have you worked with these people before?
hmm?
Have you had relations with these people before? Like, or are they not like you haven't had sex with them before?
These people I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
all the
Yeah,
ones that would
yeah,
have.
Okay,
I would
okay.
say,
yeah,
yeah.
multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, because some people like be like, I've never had sex with this person. They want me to do this, and I don't know. Like, I don't want
Well,
to.
it's more so they started as like lifestyle friends.
Okay.
Right? So they know me and my husband very, very well. Like if they want to work with me, they actually call him, not me. Uh,
Mhm.
hey, I want to set something up with your wife. Let me know when we can do that. Cool. And then, he comes to me. What's the schedule look like? Whatever. So these are people that genuinely care about both of us to where it's like, they're like, I'd love to, but I care about you too much. And I'm like,
Exactly.
so it's kind of like a catch 22. Like, that's really sweet.
Mhm.
But dang it, like you're the only one that. So I'm kind of like between a rock and a hard place because I do want to make this happen. But I told him, I'm like, I don't really want to bring in new people. I don't want to bring in somebody I've not worked with. Like, I don't. Like, I've got like 3 or 4 people that I have in my head that I'm like,
Mhm.
I would, yes, right?
Mhm.
Because I've worked with them many times and for the respect out of, us too, they wouldn't cross that line. I just know. We both just know that. And
Exactly.
the fact
Absolutely.
that they're even hesitant to say yes to being in this, I'm like, all right, maybe it's not gonna happen, but I can dream. I can dream.
Right.
But I won't. Here's what I won't do. I'm not gonna like push and push and push and push and push up against
Mhm.
the wall. Like if it's no, it's no. I'll move on. Like if there is a time and a place for me to live this out, it'll come. So I'm not gonna because I don't also want to ruin the relationships either. So I'm like, I'm not gonna push that. Like if
Mhm.
you say no, I'll respect that and just
See, at the end of the day, I love your point. Even with CNC, consent is required.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like
On both
that's the point
on,
people need to
on both ends.
absolutely. Yes. You can't push someone to do something that they don't want to do, especially something like this, where it's a little bit more taboo risk, you know? Like, it's better to just, for us to just wait this out, have our wet dreams, our fantasies, and eventually knowing that someone will fulfill them,
Yeah.
or multiple someones will fulfill them.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it'll work itself out. It'll be
Mhm.
fine. And again, that's why like we've been talking about it probably the whole year of 2024. I'm like, it'll play out when it's meant to. And if it's
Exactly.
not meant to, and that's okay. But
Plus, I feel like
I'm not gonna ruin a friendship or, relationships over, you know.
Now you talk about this will be recorded, right? So like, are those people okay with being on camera also? So it's like
Yeah. Yeah,
that
we've done
too.
they're in a lot of my content.
Oh, okay.
All of them.
that's sexy.
Well, I don't know the full
I
story,
love
so
when lifestyle people are open to filming, even if
Hmm.
they wear like a little face mask and kind of masquerade vibes. I love being able to show like people who are in the lifestyle show how they're still able to be intimate
Hmm.
even when they're exchanging partners. I
Yeah.
feel like that's such a sexy thing to see.
It's cool. It's been a journey. It has been a journey, I'll say the least.
Absolutely.
But there's like a reward to it. Like so many people, like you make so many friends. You have so
Mhm.
many, like ups and downs you go through life. Like you build these aside from the sex and then the filming it, right? Like you build these relationships where it's like, oh, I just got to call in Van. I'm going to call my friend that's in, Texas or North Carolina or whatever. Because that's part of what you build, you know.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's there's a mental, there's a physical, there's a spirit, there's like all types of
Mhm.
love that goes around that we all just share. So it's fun.
See, that reminds me of this other episode that we did where we were talking about how people in the nudist community, like, they tend to be more open with each other. Like, first of all, you're naked. You are literally
Yeah.
bearing it all. And
Yeah.
it feels almost more easy to have, like, what we can consider more difficult conversations while you're naked. Because at that point, you feel like you're not hiding anything from
Yeah.
someone. You get to have a real, genuine conversation with people,
Hmm.
show them who you really are, your kinky side, your fun side. Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
it's
I
like
love so much about nudist lifestyle people. Like they're more comfortable with their bodies and with themselves and what
mhm.
they like, what they want.
Yeah. I like that too, right? You're already naked. Like, what's the point of lying? Like,
Exactly, right?
what
At
are you
that
gonna lie
point.
at that point?
Mhm.
and to go full circle back to what we talked about when we first started. There's like people walking around my house, and I'm the one fully clothed because
Absolutely.
I'm such a prude,
No.
and oh, I am. I'd be
Yeah.
sitting. Yeah, I
Mhm.
am. They have to persuade me to get unclothed. I literally would sit there. Everybody walking around my house naked, and I'm the one just sitting there fully clothed. Like I don't want to, I'm just here.
Is that where the consent comes in? Like they start undressing you for you? Like,
No, not like. No,
We
because
low key just push. We kind of
they
like
just put they
push
just
it a
push at
little
it.
bit to.
Oh,
It is mainly because one, I don't like how I look naked sometimes. And then two, it's kind of like I got to be the one to be the responsible one here, just to make sure everything is going okay.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, I'm here
well,
because
they're
they
around
like.
if they want to be, and
I
they've
mean,
Exactly.
they know I don't care, but
Mhm.
it's like the fact that my personal body isn't naked, so it's just like, oh, okay,
And mind you, if it's his house and everyone else is naked except for him, I'm kind of gonna egg him on and be like, come on, Rasta, at least take off one thing. I think I jokingly said it one time, like, come on, at least a sock.
they take off the one sock.
Right. He took them both off, but I was still like, come on, Rasta, take something off. Like that way we're all partially naked together, you know?
Yeah, make
But it,
I mean, they got me. They, like, it's been a time where I'm just walking around in my shirt before,
mhm,
but it's like for me, it's like because I'm so because like the thing is like I'm not the performer, and I know like there's a lot of times where I'm tested, and there's a lot of times that I'm not tested, and I don't want to be in a situation where like everybody wants to get freaky with each other, and everybody but me is tested in a situation, you
yeah,
know? And so it's
set
like
you
I don't
up.
like, as much as I would want to participate in this situation, mindfully, like, even though I know I am clean since I don't really
mhm.
have a lot of sex,
Yeah,
it's just the mindfulness is like, look, at the end of the day, once you leave here, I don't want you to say, "Oh, was Raw Star tested?" I don't want that to be in the back of
Mhm.
your head. And
yeah,
so that's how my mind works when it comes to that situation. And it's just because I've been around many things in this industry since like you say you've been in it for 4 years now, but like when I first joined, like it was a month test. So you only got tested once
yeah,
a month. This was a
Yeah.
30-day test. And now it's a 14-day test. And I
yeah.
was even around when they were talking about going down to 7-day tests. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like I've seen the progression, but I
Yeah,
also don't want to put anybody in a situation where they feel that like I mind being left out because I'm not tested. Because I'm like, I'm not tested, so I am cool with like, just letting y'all have y'all fun. And like if like I leave the room sometimes if people try doing it, and I've been yelled at to stay in there, even though I
Why do
wasn't.
you say it like that? I didn't yell. I was like, really? You gonna get up while I'm taking my clothes off?
No,
You know?
y'all were having sex. It's a difference.
Okay, but still, I was like,
And it's like it is out of respect too. So it's kind of like, do what y'all do.
I
well,
was jokingly like, it's free. You don't have to pay to watch.
maybe, just maybe, they want you to let loose a little in your own home while the party's going on.
I,
Well, it's
mind you, I was completely sober, just fucking like we were just intimate, and I
Yeah,
just, kind of started doing things. We were
ask where you're going.
lucky. And so he was just sitting there playing on his phone and sees me start sucking dick and then writing. He's just slowly creeping, getting up to walk away. And I look up, Foster, where are you going?
it's just I want to give people their like if people are going at it, I want to give them their like let them enjoy their sensuality in their moment. And if like okay, here's one big thing with me. It's like if you are such a good friend to me, it's harder for me to even want to like masturbate to you because I know you so well. So
Yeah,
it's like if I have spoken to your relative before, you're like your brother, your sister before, or I have met your parent before. It's kind of
Mhm.
hard for me to just sit back and just watch your porn and like, okay, I'm about to jack off to this person. It's just it's a different mindset because like in the back of my mind it's like so Beverly, like I'm watching Beverly and I met her mom Brenda, she was really nice. slip. Well,
Yeah,
damn.
I get that, but if you like, I don't know, the way I think about it is like, yo, my man has met my mama and my entire family. He's
Well,
still
yeah, well,
remaining like that.
that's your man. It's like I'm just a friend, you know. It's just
True, true.
Well, and here's the thing too. From her, okay, I'll speak a little bit from her perspective, right? If she if she just started kind of going at it while
Hmm.
there, she did not mind at all that you were
Exactly.
there.
well, no, it's just
Not
it.
would have been like, hey,
Right? Like
Well,
he was just overthinking it in the moment to why I had to be like, no, you're staying. Like,
or maybe two, there was a level of comfort of having you there.
well,
hmm
that's why a lot of people
I like to
do what they
watch.
do in front of me already, and or a lot of people feel comfortable with me when I'm whenever I'm recording them because
Mhm.
they know that my brain doesn't function like, okay, I'm getting a little bit too excited with doing this. Like I've jokingly said on the podcast before, like in my 16 years of recording, I've only gotten hard 3 times of all the times I recorded
Yeah,
something.
he's just so focused on the content. He just keeps his professional brain on. And like when he's just at home, no camera going, I'm like, hey, Rockstar, you need to realize that mentality doesn't have to carry on with like, especially with your really close friends, you know. We've
Yeah,
known each other for I'd say almost 6 years now. So we get to goof off and that's how we're this comfortable with each other. So I'm just like, you
yeah,
gotta you gotta just see it as that's how comfortable I am, really.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But question, let's get this back into a few things. So what is the Hot Wife Tour? What is this?
Oh yeah.
So we are a group of hot wives, who basically we all just do the same thing. We all create content. So there's about there's seven core people, and then we'll bring in a couple like guest people that join us.
Mhm.
Typically have about ten females. Um, and we get a whole bunch of guys. We all try to stay under one roof. So they will book a house and
Mhm.
we're under one roof, and we vet out like a bunch of guys, and they have to put in applications and all that stuff. But basically, it's just like a giant shoot house. It's just all the hot wives, and um, we shoot and we film, and it is a good time, to say the very least.
That definitely sounds like a reality show I would watch. Like just an X-rated reality show of like not even drama, just the fun part of what happens behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah,
Y'all hanging out naked, cooking before you're about to start shooting, you know, music on, everyone's just dancing around. Like, you know, all these fantasies that guys have about like girls' slumber parties and stuff, but
yeah,
just MILF version, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. So I mean, it's funny because it's really kind of what it is. Like it's in the morning, like, and I had to like explain this. So obviously we have friends, right, in the industry, right? But you've got friends, yeah, I've got friends that, and I'm sure you do too, who are lifestyle, and then some that just are do this for work, like not tied to the lifestyle at all. So it's very different. Like in the morning, it's like, oh, good morning. And someone's husband comes downstairs into the kitchen and you're kissing them in the kitchen and, stuff like that. Like everybody's just kissing everywhere and everybody, we're having a meeting and that wife is sitting with that husband and that one's over there with like, and it's kind of not a free for all, but we've all built like a relationship and friendship within each other that like all the husbands and wives are okay with all of these things going on. It's not like, why are you sitting with it? It's not
Yeah.
all. So when I was trying to explain this to somebody, they were like, I wouldn't like at a shoot house, I wouldn't wake up and kiss. And it's like, yeah, but it's different. Like that
Yeah.
so different.
Lifestyle esque.
Yeah. Yeah, like when when you're saying hi to everybody, it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long, and then you start kissing. Like it's just it's different. It's different, but it's our normal. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because we all know each other, and we all are have given the consent like already just across the board. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Not like
Exactly.
haven't seen him in like 2 months. Can I kiss him? Like it's not that, you
Yeah,
know. It's a
I
little
call it
different.
ending consent. That's what I call it.
And
Yeah.
are you
No,
gonna be at every stop that's listed for 2025, or are you gonna be at uh, specific
specific
ones?
one.
Specific ones. So I'm not part of the core group. So
Okay,
I
you're on
be
the picture.
hmm
You're on the picture I'm looking at. I'm
yeah,
like, it's like I'm looking at the picture and you're right there. I can see your head. You're right there. I was
yeah.
like, okay, because I know you and one other person on this list.
hmm
So, well, yeah.
I will be at the majority of them. I
Okay.
think there's one I can't make for whatever reasons. But yes, I will. That's the plan.
Okay.
That's the
Um,
to be it.
Because I see
Just
the first one is in Vegas. So,
yeah,
Avians,
yeah,
January 20.
I was about to ask you to name out some of the locations.
Well, can I say it or do you know them by heart?
Oh my God, no, I don't know them by heart. You have to say it.
January 23rd to 26th is in Vegas. That's AVN. March 13th to
Mark.
16th is in Tampa.
Yeah,
April 10th to the 13th, Chicago, which is Exotica. May
yes.
22nd to 25th is in San Diego. July
hmm
31st to August 3rd is Atlanta. October 9th to the 12th is in Dallas, Texas. And
hmm
November 20th to 23rd is in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all are touring then, that's for sure.
It's a lot. So this is my first time. So I started with them, let's see, here in February of this year.
Mhm.
And I only did, I think it was 3 stops. I was supposed to do more, but there were life things that, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But there were
Mhm.
some things that happened and I couldn't make more. Um,
Mhm.
but I've grown to really love the group and the girls, and they're a lot of fun. It's a lot
Mhm.
of fun. It's a lot of work getting done at the same time.
Yeah.
Good balance of fun and work, and things get done. And it's very much like we're very much like a little, I like to call it dysfunctional family, because when you make one, it's always dysfunctional, right? Your own personal one is dysfunctional. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's a um but we all like, it works really, really well, because I personally feel like we all kind of have the same goals, as far as like we all want each other to win. You know what I mean? All the way across, no matter what you're doing. If this is what you're kind of doing right now, I want you to
Mhm.
that, and so on and so forth. So what we do is, like, we're very helpful with each other. So, everybody pitches in for this or that, or whatever it is. If someone, hey, I need a camera person, we're there to help. Or the
Mhm.
husband help, or like it's one of those, like, everybody just kind of like, you know throws what they
Yeah.
into the bucket and make sure it just works all the way across.
Mhm.
So that's probably my favorite part about it, is, you get invited to these shoot houses and you do all these things, like, oh, I got a shoot house if you want to come, but it's not that same camaraderie that we have, and I think
Yeah.
Mhm.
the part that I love about it is the fact that everybody, I like that word, there's a camaraderie that we have that just works, and it just blends.
Mhm.
Because I've seen the video on your page about the orgies ones that y'all did in Atlanta. I'm like, oh, okay. It
hmm
seemed like a lot of sex was going on.
Hey, that's
That's
high
what,
tech.
yeah.
So,
See, and that's one of the things is like the concept of like content houses is so amazing. Like I would love to do them, but it's like you have to find the right group of people to do it with. You
Yes.
know, I've
Yes.
gone to some where they don't really tell you everything about what's going on or how the entire content exchange process goes.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one of those things. It's like you have to kind of know the people ahead of time
hmm
and have an agreement on who's getting what content.
Yes. Yes.
Because I will admit, I went to one in Atlanta one time. I won't say who it was with or anything, But I went there. No one paid for anything except for the main person who rented it out. And then he had some camera guys. What they didn't tell us was that they were going to be keeping every piece of content as essentially as a content exchange, even if they didn't feature in the content. Just anything you filmed in that house, they get to keep also. So
Everybody?
the person who essentially rented it out, they
Mm.
get to all of that. And I was like, okay, I understand, but you should have just told me ahead of time.
Yeah.
And even when it was a case of I was filming a POV with my husband and he was recording it, they still wanted that footage. And I was like, but we're the producers and the talent. And they're like, but you still filmed it here. And I was like, okay, I get this now. Like,
Oh.
so it's so amazing that you were able to find a bit like a group of people that actually like has a specific idea of what they want and knows
Mhm.
how they're gonna run it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's so amazing to see. It's because everyone has different things that we've experienced. So to hear something like that is like it's it brings us hope again. Like,
Yeah.
okay, someone's doing it right, you know?
And it just, like I said, it's the group of people that you're around. It's a good vibe to be around. Like
Mhm.
it's not it's not one of those like, oh, I'm kind of nervous about this one person, or oh, I know it's coming. It's not that. You know,
Exactly.
they do their best to like take into consideration everybody's, opinion as far as the girls, right?
Mhm.
Uh, they take, our opinions into consideration when we're deciding on who to bring in and stuff like that. So it's a good thing to be a part of. It's a really
Yeah.
good thing to be a part of, and I'm lucky that they have me.
Right? See, I love that because it's like sometimes I wish I could find like another group of people to do a content house with, you know. So it's really like I'm low key jealous that you found the group to do it
Yeah.
with. Like it's a good jealous, like, you know, it's one of those like you make that content, girl. You make that bread, okay? Get it.
So
But no,
side
it,
note for your fans, are you going to be at X3 also, or just AVNs during that weekend?
no, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I've had so many people ask me. Um, if I can figure out a way to make it happen, I will.
Okay.
Had the conversation before we jumped on here, but being away that long, like, because I won't leave and come back. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
won't go
exactly.
come back, and so being gone that long, I don't know how I feel about it. So I'm on the fence because for ABN for sure, like I'm that one for sure.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of people ask me about X3, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I
we'll
I
see.
only like I know like right now is November. Jesus Christ. December 5th.
December.
December 5th right now. And
Moving back in time.
I know this one comes out right before New Year's because we're recording early because of the holidays. So I just wanted to give them an idea of, what's coming up in like the next 2 weeks, as far as the release of this podcast. So if you're watching this now, she might have decided. So go to her page and scope it out. And I'm only asking because like for people like me who never like I never go to AVNs.
Hmm.
And it's mainly because like I'm not talent, so I'm not working, I'm not getting paid to be there.
Yeah,
So I never go. But like and since I do live in LA, I definitely will be at X3. So I'm
right.
just trying to get an idea for the people who can't make that travel to, that event. So just I'm wondering. But go ahead with Hot Wife story. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to it was just a thought in my brain because I know the first one is AVN.
Yeah. No, that's I'm trying to make it happen. I'm trying to make X3 happen. We'll see. Fingers
He,
crossed.
he just wants to meet you in person. Come on,
I
Rockstar.
mean,
Don't
I,
lie.
I like I like to meet everybody in person, but I respect that everybody has their home life and they want to make sure that they're not gone for too long for whatever given reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to make sure like, hey, for the fans, will they have
Mhm.
the opportunity to meet this person and where can they meet her and where can they get her get their autograph and get their picture and get a high five because those
High five.
high fives are important. They're very
Ask,
important.
asking where I can hug you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Exactly.
Or
consent, consensual. Like don't just run up to her and just say, "Hey, I jacked off to you last spring," and run up to her and trying to give her a hug, or "Oh,
Yeah.
I subscribed to your OnlyFans and yesterday and I nutted. Thank you," and run up to her and hug her. No, you need consent before you touch her person, you know?
Mhm.
She loves the fact that you do that. She loves the fact that you're a fan. But she doesn't want you to just run up to her because you probably nutted in your hand that morning and you didn't wash your hand.
your
You know,
washer.
yeah, wash your like
Mhm.
people out there, wash your hands after you nut in your hand. I don't no matter what you do with it, if you lick it dry, you wash it dry, you have a sock or a napkin or a tissue, whatever you use, wash your hand, and then go to the convention, and then say, "Hey, can I get your picture?" And she say, "Yes." Then give her whatever she charges. Then get your picture taken, and then before you just and like even if you don't ask consent to touch her shoulder, don't just grab her titty. 'Cause some of y'all are weird. Don't just grab her titty. If you want to grab a titty,
Mhm.
ask, say, "Hey, is it okay if I grab your titty?" And she says yes, then you can grab her titty. If she says no, don't just think because you feel entitled, you can just grab it anyway. Don't grab her titty. It's all about consensual
Grab it
here.
hard.
But wash your hands and ask to touch a titty.
Mhm. The way he says "titty" though has me like
I always
titty.
say titty this way. I love titties.
I know, but the way you always say it is just it always gets me.
When I have when I experience that and that whole
Mhm.
thing plays out the way you just said it's going to, I'm gonna call you.
Right. Because
Hey,
I
they
swear.
and they listen to your advice. So I
Mhm.
let them suck a titty
Exactly.
because they asked.
Like I've been places. I've been at the convention where someone just has just grabbed someone's titty, or they just grabbed a handful of booty.
Mhm.
It's more so booty and titty. And they
I've seen
just
it
and the
happen.
thing is like they do it so nonchalantly. They say, "Can I get a picture?" You say yes, and then they just wrap their hand around it and just grab either what side they're on, depending. They just grab the titty that they're on opposite on, and just leave it there, and then just now then like some people just don't care, they just let it slide because they already paid. But it's kind of like you didn't ask for all this.
Mhm.
This titty costs money. This isn't a free titty. This is a
This
costly
is a
titty.
free
No,
titty.
no. The picture was $8. To touch the titty is $28.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
Know the worth of the titty.
is that the
This.
average cost? Is that what you would charge?
No,
No,
he's coming
I'm
up
just
with numbers at this point.
I'm just no,
Coming up
some
with
people
numbers.
charge $10, $5 for a picture. So that's,
Mhm.
a certain amount, whatever. And then if they want to touch something, some people might charge like 20 to 30 more or whatever, just because
Mhm.
it's a sexual spot.
Yeah,
And and usually it's just the titty or the butt. Some people don't allow you to grab the cuckoo because that's a whole different atmosphere,
yeah, that
you
gets
know.
out the
And
event.
I haven't seen anyone just strictly just walk up to someone and grab their pussy, but
I
but it's usually the titty and the booty, And we're talking about the titty and the booty right now, and yeah, if you want to touch it, those two crevices, just say, hey, may I please touch your titty? And if she said yes, you are in the gown. And then if she doesn't charge you extra, you even better in the goal. But she charges you extra, say, okay, I understand. I understand this is your person. And I need to give you that extra amount to touch your titty, you know? Because I don't like I do photography and I don't run around just grab everybody's titty. I can't even tell you. Well, no, I confidence I can't tell you last city I touched, but I can on set. But that's a different story. And that's a whole different conversation.
You say
And
we're not gonna breeze over that one? Okay.
we
Right?
can.
Oh,
We,
I
that's
was like, he's on his field right now.
that's a whole different conversation that happened by mistake, and we were just laying there waiting. That's a different story. But yeah, don't just grab someone's titty without the permission to grab their titty. So you see her,
Mm-hmm.
so she doesn't come to X3 and you see her at AVN, just don't say, oh, and see a target and then just run up to her and pretend you trip and fall and touch her titty. Like if you do that, you still gotta pay her money for touching her titty. You did
Not
that
just
on
that,
purpose.
you still get slapped. Like I will give this story. I have seen like at conventions, for example, you're facing that way. Someone comes up behind you and just goes literally has tried to stick their finger right up someone's pussy. Just absolute like just a random
The face
essentially
she just
fan.
made over there.
Yeah, like essentially a random fan, like had not introduced himself, nothing like that. Came in just straight off the bat, like, yep. Like according to her, his finger actually like slid past her thong, almost made his way up there. Like that's how far deep in he was trying to go.
He's that
Um,
kind of person that jerked off to her and didn't wash his hands.
Yep.
exactly.
He's one of
And
the
so he literally got beat up then and there. Because mind you, she was talking to this other person,
uh,
and they were like, it was two small women like my size, essentially. Those girls still ganged up together and beat his ass until like security came and grabbed him and kicked him out. Because it's like, either way, like you think just because we're here half naked doesn't
I
mean you
know.
get permission.
Hmm.
And it also doesn't mean that we're not going to protect ourselves. Like, we
Yeah.
may look cute and adorable and whatever, but a lot of us have a little bit of fighting history, you know? Like,
I
we can
can't
be fierce, guys.
I can't fight, so that's the only reason why I don't just touch somebody. I'll lose.
Pity.
I know,
I'm
exactly. Like,
non-violent over here.
I've seen it quite a few times, actually. You know, like, I like, at this point, I like doing little, like, live streams day one of the event and actually give, like, a little etiquette lesson and tell them like, hey, this is your warning. If you guys are going to be at this event and you do something that someone does not consent to, you're getting banned.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
they
I was seeing in
straight up,
person to
it
someone who
happens.
just we were talking at one of the booths, and I was talking to a young lady, and this dude just went by and just got like a you can my camera's not on, but got a good handful and just kept on walking, and she yelled a lot, and they had to
And
stop her a little bit, but yeah, it's like
Mm.
just because they might be standing there in a bikini thong or whatever they're wearing.
mm-hmm,
It's not free reign for you to grab.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Consent, people. I'm sorry, consent.
Mm,
Consent's
Consent.
important.
Consent or just simply respect.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
just because and that's such a misconception. Just because we do what we do doesn't mean we don't respect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
And
I
and
see
it's like,
that, especially like this the social media trolls that are, well, you
yeah.
yes. No.
You do porn. You must not love yourself. It's like
Yeah.
woman, man, dude, troll, incel.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually quite the opposite.
It's actually right. And mind you, also, like, people lost the privilege of being able to see her in that kind of outfit because after that event, she started covering up her booty a little bit more. Like,
Mhm.
she stopped wearing thongs and it was just cheeky undies and skirts and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that one guy messed it up for everyone else.
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
also because like I've seen a performer do certain things at a convention
Hmm.
with certain fans that she shouldn't have been doing with certain fans. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
say no names, but I would say that she let a random fan go down on her at an event. Like, yeah. And like
I thought that
I
wasn't
was
even allowed.
It's
well,
not
it depends.
allowed.
It's not allowed. It depends on where you're at, like what event you're at. And this specific one, it was the way the place was set up. She was in like far enough away where security wasn't at, but it was still like next to her booth.
Yeah.
And like She just let
Mm.
some random fan. It was not someone she knew. Like it was two of them. They just to lick, and that's a bit much. People don't do that.
Yeah,
You
I'm
performers out there.
sorry. I would never do that.
You said a bad precedence for everybody
Oh.
else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
may be freaky, but there's certain no-nos that we
Yeah.
adhere to,
But
like that one. No, no.
Yeah, but yeah, it doesn't shock me anymore. It used to how literal people take things, like posts that you do or videos that you sell, and it's like you
Yeah.
like
yeah, just because you say I'm horny right now and I wish someone would come over and dick me down doesn't mean that she wants you to find where she's at and come over and dick her down.
yeah, that doesn't mean I'm gonna
Espe-
address because you say you're available. Like that's not how it works.
Especially if her subtweet is watch the video on OnlyFans. Like, come on, guys. It's like
Yeah, because
we're literally like you can
sometimes they
see it's a promotional video.
sometimes she's saying that and she said, like, I'm laying here in my lingerie, half naked, no bottoms, with no top on, and she's, wearing sweats, um, a 4-year-old hoodie, that she got from an ex, and
Watch it.
wearing a
It's
bonnet.
ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
with
was wearing my bonnet
with
until like
Cheeto
2 p.m.
stains,
today.
With Cheeto stain.
I
Oh,
swear, I like pre-take the photos and then I'll wake up just be looking like a bum and I'll just go and start posting. Oh, good morning. I woke up like this and like a face of makeup like this, and I'm just looking at myself like, girl, be for real. You don't wake up like that. That shit's so hilarious. Mind you, sometimes I've done it before where I will wear bare minimum makeup, kind of like this. And
mhm.
then I'll have friends be like, oh, I love your natural look, your natural vibe. And I'm like, this is natural. Okay.
Well, thanks. Girl, just right. Yes, thank you.
Right. At the end of the day, this is a lot of concealer and some eyeliner stuff. But like people just don't understand fully what a no makeup look is. So I'm just gonna keep selling that. Like, oh yeah, this is what I look like normally. No, guys,
Girl,
no.
yes. No, I complete yes.
Mhm.
I
So
don't understand. I try. Although I
no,
try not this,
both y'all over there glowing, and you're like, yeah, we try. Y'all
this is
both.
a lot. This is a lot for me. I'm very sensitive. My face is very, very sensitive. So as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go wipe it all off because
And same with her.
I can't have it on too long.
Yeah, I just have one more squirt custom to film and then I can take this off.
So both y'all over there glowing right now, looking fabulous. You
So
know.
are you.
So, huh? Oh, because I'm in the
Right.
bunny outfit.
That's right.
No.
Looking fabulous as a little bunny.
No,
Yeah.
as soon as we finish this podcast, I'm going to jump in the shower because I know I'm looking like Who Shot John 4 days ago. You know, like 9/11 the day after. You know,
Most of the days I look like who did it in okay.
so I have a question. So you've been around the industry for a little bit, and you're doing mainstream now. Like, who have you not worked with? Like, give me your top five of who you have not worked with that you want to work with. Like, who should we say? Okay, this young lady wants to work with blah blah blah. Let's make this happen, companies. Who do you want to work
Let's
with?
manifest it.
Let's see. It's funny because a lot of the people that I want to work with, I've actually talked to, and just
Mhm.
I've not gone out there. Like I'm not in LA a whole lot just yet. So I haven't been able to make those things happen. But I won't tell you who. I'll
Mm,
just give you top five. For sure, I think like Isaiah Maxwell's like right up there. I put Manuel Ferrera there, but I've already worked with him, so I'm like, oh, like that was like super fun.
yeah.
Girl. Um,
You're like mission accomplished.
that was fun. But yeah, I had a moment. I was like, listen, just let me get this out real quick and I'll be good.
Mhm.
Uh, let's see. Oh my gosh. Alex Jones is another one.
Oh, yes.
Um, J Mac,
Okay.
want to work with him. Who else?
You be boy, girl, TS, whatever.
Hmm.
Oh,
Solid
um,
list so far, though.
hmm.
Solid list so far, though. Girl.
I want. Oh, I can see her face. Why can't I think of her name?
That's all I.
Um, why am I drawing a blank? I can see her face and I can't think of her name right now. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna skip that one so I don't feel bad about
Right? No, I feel that. That
It's
happens to
gonna,
me
it's
all
gonna
the
like
time.
as soon as we end the podcast, it's gonna
it. It's
pop
gonna
in her
bug me.
brain.
As soon as we get off, I'm gonna have to go look. Um, no, I gotta think of it because it's bothering me now.
Oh my God. We're
It's
gonna put in post credits like, oh, this is who it was.
don't like a little PS at the end.
Yeah.
I'm really drawing a blank. Dang it. Who
We'll
else?
put it like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is their description?
So they have oh, I got it. Oh my God. Thank you, because that helped. Jada Stevens.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay,
I
see?
she's so
Absolutely.
pretty. She's so pretty. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Um, not necessarily work with, just because she's intimidating. But I want to meet her, Brandy Love. I'd love to just meet her.
Okay.
I
See,
feel
I
like
get that. There's some people where I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to work with you just
yeah,
yet. Like, you up there,
I
like,
want
you
to
know
do that.
what you're doing. Not for, like small potatoes. It's definitely
One of the
uh,
people you said has shot at my house in the past 3 weeks.
I
What?
know.
Yeah, one of the people you said has shot at my house in the last 3 weeks.
Who is?
In my new house, in my new place. They've shot here. So
Who? Now I gotta
I'm sure
know.
who it is.
Isaiah.
I yeah,
Isaiah.
Isaiah Maxwell.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's come over and
Yeah,
had some.
that's one of my homies. Like we're in the same fantasy football league together.
oh, it's funny.
And
Well,
crazy enough, like this is old news now, but I beat him last week. We went against each other in the regular season. Ha ha! You know,
you had to
bragging,
there.
brag
You had to
rights,
get that one in there.
brag rights.
Exactly.
I should have lost. There's no reason I should have won that match because I didn't have a wide receiver in. But his
You
team did
got
hor
lucky.
his team did horrible, and I was able to get a little quick little win by 3 points, and I'm okay with that.
You got mad lucky with that one
I
then.
got tremendously lucky. Any
He said, "I'll take the win where I can get it."
I would definitely take the win
Exactly.
when I can get it. No, but he's like all the people you said are fantastic humans that I've met. I don't think I've met one of the people you said, but everybody else, great people to work with, great
Mhm.
people to know. And I hope that you get it. I hope that you get it. I hope that
Yeah,
you were able to work with them because I
me too.
believe that I
Really,
think y'all can make magic together.
it humbles me when people that are so much bigger than I am, like Isaiah, for example, like he's one of the ones that we've been kind of going back and forth in the message box, and like it 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 brings me back to earth. Like,
Mhm.
oh my God, like this person like sees me and knows who I am, wants to work with me. Like it's just I'm kind of taken back. Like I, because in my personal life, like I go about my life and when I'm this other person, right? And in this world, it I don't live it every single day. Does that make sense? Like
Mhm.
I don't leave the house and flaunt it. So when I look at the numbers and other people have told me like, oh, congratulations on whatever. And I'm like, I just don't see those things. Like I look at the number and I'm like, oh, cool. I hit 100K. Awesome. Um, and my husband's looking at me like, that's a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, but the internet's not a real place. So it's like I just, it's cool. It's cool. I don't see myself as like this big person. you know,
Mhm.
people know. But I have been kind of put in my place a couple of times. Like I had someone reach out to me. This I'm kind of going off topic here. I had someone reach out to me on my OnlyFans one time that they said, I saw you on Halloween in downtown, like we had gone downtown,
Yeah,
right? The little trick or treating or whatever. And I saw you downtown, and I'm like, oh my God,
right. You're like, oh,
someone right here in my backyard found me. Like it's so I don't realize, but then it's moments like that where I'm like, ooh, I am all over the place and people can find me. Like
mhm.
it's weird. It feels weird. So like talking to someone like that, or people that follow me, like there's people that I follow that follow back, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I still I do. I get awestruck. I get excited. I'm like, this is so cool. So it's humbling. It's nice to they're real people, they're real people. We're real people, and I have to just I say that all the time about myself because I'm like, I'm a real person, like, so I
Mhm.
just remember like everybody's a real person. I just get like awestruck, like they reached out to me.
God, for real. Like, for example, sometimes I get like a little nervous to even like go and introduce myself to them at like events. Like you see them on social media and like you follow them for a while and you're like, oh my God, that person's so amazing and whatever. And then you see them in person and you want to say hi, but then you're like, oh, what do I what do I
Yeah.
say? What do I say? They're so awesome. Like
Hmm.
whole shy girl vibe comes in and you're like, what do I say?
How do you not come off like a groupie? So like I
Right.
I ran into Sarah Arabic in line. Um,
Ooh.
we were getting like our tags and stuff,
Mm,
and we had a few exchanges, just kind of like poking around online, right?
mm.
So when I ran into her, she knew who I was, and I was so struck. I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God!" Like inside, I'm panicking, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna freak out. Like I'm not gonna have a panic attack in this line. But I was just like, for me, I was like, "Oh my God, she knows who I am." Like
Trying to
I
act like
have to like,
inside, you're like, oh, they know who I
yeah,
am.
let me get it together. Let me compose myself before I walk over and say hello.
Absolutely. I feel
So
like we
I
all
want
get our
I
fans.
want I want to say this. It's like there is a lot of people who are really, really, really extremely humble with their success that I've
Hmm.
met in this industry. Because I've known Isaiah since before he started shooting porn,
Yeah, when he was an eight.
and he was an agent, yeah, and never changed. It's like always like he's always about his business, that's one thing. But like never switched up on anybody. It's always been the one who's like, that cool person. And there's a lot of people I've met who have altered who they are.
Yeah.
But like I said, like Zay is one of those the coolest people that I know in this industry. But
Hmm.
like most people in it, like there's a lot of people who were just like, hey, they're happy that you even watch them or acknowledge them. But there
Hmm.
are a few people whose head has gotten too big for themselves. But many people would just
Mhm.
enjoy, talking to you. Now it might be harder to work with them because of, if you're like depending on how new you are or whatever. But a lot of them would just, be happy to like, and I think they're more open to working with some females more than dudes. But
Hmm.
yeah, but they are always, who I get. Like they're the same way, like they love the fact that people, watch them, and
Mhm.
because it's always that subconscious, it's like, is my work how the people really enjoy my work, or are you just watching my work because you like the way I look naked? And it's okay.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, I
real.
Yeah.
mean that's what it is because there is a lot of people who really believes that the only reason they're getting work is people think that their body is sexy compared to the way they perform. And there's certain people like if you come to them and say, I saw your scene with blah 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 and I loved it. I loved we and they love that. They eat that up more than anything else because it shows that you are really enjoying what they're producing rather than saying, "Oh God, that person has nice titties or nice booty or or." they can get into a weird position, you know? You know,
That's so true.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
mind you, like before I even started doing the podcast or even started doing my own like Q&A stuff, I had come into the industry first with modeling and then with porn. So in my mind, I was like, all right, like I'm this pretty girl that they want to see, and but that's all they want to see.
Yeah,
They want to. In my head, it's like, oh, they just want to watch me fuck. That's all they care for, you know. They just want that sexual gratification, and that's that. But
yeah,
once it started evolving, I was like, you know, just started doing little dances and stuff like that, just kind of showing them a little bit more of my personality.
yeah.
It started seeing that response and having people actually tell me like, I love the way that you dance. You dance like there's no one there and whatever and stuff like that. And then I would start doing little Q&A streams and people were like, "Oh, that's what your voice sounds like. It's so cute. I like the way you
Oh,
I
that's
like
awesome.
the experiences you share and stuff like that." So I got more in that mindset of like, "Oh, okay, so this is one thing." But what's really keeping them hooked and what has them like come here for longer is actually seeing you be a person, show off your
You. Yeah.
personality, the things that you enjoy. They want to see what makes you excited, you know? Because
Mhm.
like our smiles can be infectious, you
Yeah.
know? So I feel like, especially when I'm talking to even like a fan, like about things that I like, and they see my face light up, their face lights up too. And I've started to see like, oh, okay, they're really just they want to be just in your presence in general, you know, like even if you're not just doing sex stuff, you can
Yeah.
be sitting there, for example, smoking a bong and just talking to them.
Yeah.
Like
And they
that's
do,
what I'd love to see.
they like to know the day to day. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Your day like? What are you wearing today? Like, is it a leap day? Are you getting fixed up? Like, and I've had so many people like I'll do like the FaceTime, like the video calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I'll message people like, hey, I'm finishing getting ready. Like, we'll jump on at whatever time. And I've had people ask me like, you don't have to you don't have to do your makeup. You don't have to,
Yeah.
or like, I've had people tell me like, come in my pajamas, kind of like I was dressed earlier. It's
Mhm.
gonna anyway, sure, but like they don't care. They know
Yeah.
me, So I've always thought that was cool. Like when I come across those people, because there's a couple that are like, yeah, you can. I want the whole like experience, right? Of like,
Yeah, exactly. They want the whole
which
fantasy.
which is fine. That's understandable, right? You see this person
Mhm.
on video, that's the person you want. I get it. And then I have the handful of people that are like, yeah, just come however. And I'm like, thank you.
There's a video that I did.
Especially when they say they prefer you like that.
Yeah.
Like they just want to see you.
Yeah.
There's a
Mhm.
I
video that we recorded like before we started doing the podcast, like long ago, of us just outside of porn star karaoke, mind you, and we're just saying like there's like it's like just being in the industry for a while. It is something
Mhm.
so sexy about a woman, like in my opinion, a woman just being herself, who doesn't who wears what she wants to wear, has her makeup the way that she wants to have her makeup, and it's not, oh, I need to wear this to do this, whatever. And like it's just something so sexy about it because it shows who you are and it's your own personality. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like if someone's done up and in her wow mode, whatever, damn, but it's something so
Mhm.
sexy about, like someone being so comfortable with what they, want to wear when they want to wear it. Like if she would have came on here in her sweats and her hoodie with the cheetah stains, Cheetos stains,
the
I'd have been
okay.
like, cool. That's she just living her truth. I'm okay with that.
Mhm. Because,
And
like, for
I'm sorry, hold
example,
on. Let me throw something out there. I'm
mhm.
only saying Cheetos because I put some chips out for a delivery person, and it was just a big thing of Cheetos, like all bags were Cheetos, and that's why Cheetos are on my brain.
Can
So
you stop
I'm not,
saying Cheetos? I want some
I'm
Cheetos.
not, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not saying that this. this wonderful human being here has Cheeto stains on over all her clothes. It was just the only chips that come to my brain right now. Just to throw that out there. I don't even know if she eats Cheetos, but I just wanted to say that really quick. Anyway,
Well, to be fair, if you're gonna send me some Cheetos, I like the spicy lemon ones.
Okay. See, I'm not as crazy about the spicy lemon ones because I like to put my own lime in them and then some cheese,
Mm,
you
I've had
know?
them like too. They're wonderful like that too.
Yes. I'm really, like now I'm in the mood for like a Cheeto pie, you know? Some hot Cheetos with cheese. Mm,
Oh,
right.
see, I don't
that's
That
like
even.
South Texas delicacy.
exactly, exactly. And the piccadilly, girl.
Oh yes,
Yes.
with the
I don't.
tahini.
I
Oh
don't
my God.
know. I don't know what y'all talking about. That's new to me. That's
That
that's
that's the Texan thing. That's
that's that's that's one of y'all Texasians
Oh yeah,
stuff. Like
that's like a Tejano thing, really.
yeah.
I don't
The
know what that is either.
down the road. You know how like little ice cream trucks, like with their little music, dee, 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 selling ice creams. They sell like the little piccadillies. They sell like the cucumbers chopped up with like
Yeah.
lime and oh my God, we're not even. Sorry.
Okay. See,
Oh,
like we're just making
sounds,
each other hungry at this point.
that sounds so
All
good.
started with Cheetos.
I had to look
Oh,
up what type of Cheetos are that are in there, and like outside in front of my house right now, it's the jalapeno Cheetos and the buffalo Cheetos.
huh. I don't
Mm-mm.
think I've tried those. I tend to
What?
stick with the original ones.
Well, it was just because I just grabbed a regular box of Cheetos of something different, and those two were in there. That's the only two left were the Cheetos, because everybody else took the kettle chips and the Lay's. But what's left from that box were jalapeno Cheetos and buffalo Cheetos.
Again.
And I don't really eat chips like that. So
They're just there for the delivery drivers, really. So
yeah,
they
I
can
don't I like
pick.
as to continue on with all the stuff that's in my house. I have a whole bunch of candy in my house, and I don't eat candy like that. So it's
Mm.
just it's
Mhm.
just there. Like people get mad because they come to my house and they get fat because they just eat the stuff that's in my house. And I'm like, that's not my fault. It's there for anybody, but you eat it.
Yeah.
See,
You
I'm
eat it.
trying to get thick, so I'm happy with that fact. You know, I like going to his place and just munching out, just raiding his fridge, seeing what
Everybody
he's
do.
got in there and stuff.
Like once I hang up, I have to pick somebody up because they want a lot of stuff that's in my freezer right now, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll come by and get it." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "I'm doing a podcast, but you can come
But
too."
I was the one that stocked your freezer when we moved it from one to the other. So I know you have a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
You have a lot.
But
Absolutely.
any but anyway, like so we can continue on. What do you have coming out that we should look forward to? What type of content should we like? Oh, in the month of January, do you have coming out that we should be looking out for, or what just came out? Like, as I say again, this comes out right before New Year. So this is our New Year podcast. Well, right before New Year's.
December 30th is when this will get released.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
Awesome. So at the moment, I'm trying to think of what's next or
Mhm.
time. So some of the things that I'm getting ready to shoot will be coming out shortly after this
Ooh.
or this podcast comes out. So there will be some new things coming up at the beginning of the year that I'm
Mhm.
going to shoot in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I get it.
everybody look for all that new content and look what stuff that just came out too, because there's a lot of stuff. She might have has a Christmas themed scene that came out like in the last 7 days. You know what that means? You can like, and I'm not calling you a hoe. You can say ho 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 over to that video, and
Mhm.
make yourself a happy and see why she was on the good on the not on the naughty list, or she
That
was
way
on.
you make your holidays extra jolly.
I'm always on the naughty list.
See, and you can
Every
see, and you can see why. So go look that video up. She probably released it on the December 23rd. You can say, oh my, oh my God. you know. So it's something you should look forward to, y'all. I'm telling you.
No
It's juice,
wonder
it's some juicy content filled
Mhm.
with juices and all the other fun stuff. She told you she squirts, you know.
Exactly. Literally
Like,
juicy content,
oh,
guys.
I mean, and she wants you to squirt with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes boys and girls. So you can masturbate to her and squirt everywhere. And if you're a dude, you can jerk it off and then squirt everywhere. If you are one like someone, whatever you recognize yourself as, you can squirt too. To everybody, that's all. Let's all go squirt Karina.
together.
Yeah, that sounds sexy. Just have like you should just pick a specific day and time and just tell everyone to masturbate for you.
Yeah, right. I should do a live like that.
Yes, right? Exactly.
Do a
Just
live.
get like a yearly thing. Imagine like that International Sex Day or Orgasm Day or whatever. Just
Yeah.
on a
Annual
specific
sport day. You'll have to join me.
I don't know
Exactly. I would love that. I would
when is
start watching
International
you.
Orgasm Day?
There is, right?
No, I was saying when is International Orgasm
When
Day?
I will look it up really quick, but I know it just passed.
are you
Oh,
joining?
Mm, so I don't
August
know.
8th.
July 31st is National Orgasm Day.
Really?
Yeah. So for example, Levin's the ones who does the toys. So
Yes.
for
And
example, they actually have like a little celebration thing. I think I was technically part of it. I just didn't plan it. But basically, from a certain time to a certain time on National Orgasm Day, basically you kind of like check in and you turn on your toy, and everyone has their toy on at a certain time, and it's like we're all masturbating together.
oh, that's so cool.
I
Well,
technically did that this year. I just didn't plan for it. I was just masturbating anyways.
and that's everybody orgasm, but female orgasm day is August 8th.
Oh, okay.
So a week later?
Yeah.
So
Is there males?
I didn't look because I don't
I
care.
think National Orgasm Day kind of covers both.
Well, I think probably males don't get see
Yeah,
male orgasm day.
I don't get anything.
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
I'm like, I mean, we try to control all the days anyway. So male like, yeah, it just brings up the 31st.
what?
Well, hold
According
up.
to this, there's 7 different types of male orgasms.
Yes. Um,
Okay. I
What?
know we're towards the end of the show, so I probably shouldn't bring them all up, but I'm gonna do some research later, and then I want to try them out on my partner and see how many of those 7 we can make happen. That should be a thing, shouldn't it?
I feel like we should both try that and then
Yes.
update on how that goes.
I love that idea. Like, I'm gonna just go write a little checklist and be like, all right, I'm gonna make him come all those 7 different ways.
Yeah, right. Sarah, I did it. Did it today. Number 4,
Yes,
I
exactly. Imagine 7 orgasms in 7 days. Like each day you pick a different one that you want to different
that's
way you want to make
so
them come.
cool.
Ideas.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
How many, Rustar, how many have you experienced of the 7?
Roster, out of
two.
the 7 orgasms,
Everybody wants to know.
Let me see what the 7 are because I know there are 2 different way orgasms that I've had. 7 guy or like
I'll read it.
yeah,
So,
please read it so I know what they are.
ejaculatory, the standard orgasm.
Okay, the standard one, that's
Then
one.
there is the blended or whole body orgasm. That's number 2. It's basically when you climax while several areas of your body are being stimulated simultaneously.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no for that one because
I have
my
no more.
booty is a no.
Okay.
Wet dream orgasm.
I forget what
Um,
dream.
yeah, I don't think that needs an explanation, but apparently that's an actual thing.
Huh.
Multiple orgasms is considered a type of orgasm.
Okay, I have
So
that
like
one.
back to back, like
I've had people do that back to back cum shots, but sometimes it tends to be on the type of person because
mm,
I know like for example, one specific guy, that's just how he comes. He
Okay.
comes like 7 times back to back, but he only lasts like a minute each time, in between.
Yeah.
I dropped him real quick because I was like, where's my orgasm? But anyways, then the next one is pelvic orgasm. I didn't know guys get a pelvic orgasm.
I don't know what that is.
Basically when you're edging yourself.
Oh, well, yeah. Then three,
So yeah, that's considered a different one. And then obviously the prostate orgasm.
three. So it's been three of
Three.
those.
Okay.
Because I've never had, like I've had the pro like I have aged myself. I have like nutted regularly. That's did that yesterday.
Mhm.
And but it's all of them sound like all those sound like a regular does one include just regular sex? Is
That's
the
the first
first
one. The first one is like the safe
okay, just
one.
regular sex or metro. Okay. And
I
then
think
and
the
then
pelvic
the third one
orgasm.
of just coming and coming again and coming again. I've nutted before and was still hard and could have kept on going. It just really depends on how sensitive the shaft gets after you do it
Mm,
because
Yeah.
sometimes that shaft just feels so sensitive you want to get into a ball and just cry,
right.
and suck your thumb. And there's other time where you can keep on going, while
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you're fully erect. So it depends. I know a lot of people who are in porn, whatever, they
Mm-hmm.
can shoot and still keep on going, you know.
Yeah.
So and stop. So for me, it's like I've done the three because I don't like things going up the booty hole. So that eliminates two of them, and I've never had a wet dream. So
Well, okay. So the
Like a wet dream orgasm is like would be hard to have.
I mean,
how,
I know people who've done it. I mean, that's why they sicky cheats. But like for me, it's like I've never like. I consider that more so like, when you're younger,
Yeah.
under 18, whatever, orgasms, whatever. And I know people like could have had those when they were younger, but like during those times I was active. So I never had a wet dream.
Okay. Because yeah, that is kind of what it says here. That it's kind of the wet dream orgasm happens tends to happen more during puberty time frame because
oh,
more as adults we kind of get more into that understanding of everything. But yeah, it says the dream does not need to be erotic for this to happen.
Oh
Only
no, like
50%
people
of dreams feature sexual content. So don't be alarmed if you wake up in a small puddle of sperm after having a dream about running through a field dressed as a flamingo.
that's really specific. Someone is telling their story.
yeah,
That's what the article
but
specifically says. So, like, is the journalist a furry fetish
that's
person?
a flamingo.
Right? Like,
Bingo.
So odd. That's an
that's
odd. Okay.
That's an
Right,
odd
running through a
description.
field as a flamingo gives me like furry fetish vibes. Like, okay,
Maybe they're just throwing out the wildest example.
maybe, but like you had to have thought of it to even have thrown it out there.
Like,
So like
yeah.
that person was already just thinking dirty dreams, I'm guessing. You
Then
know?
I'll tell the author. How did you come up with what?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
For
That's
real.
interesting.
Hmm.
So
But I'm
three of
still
them.
gonna try it. I'm still gonna try to make my man come all 7 different ways.
Well, you probably gonna could do the six. I don't think you can do the. I think no.
I don't know how the wet dream one would happen. I don't
You
know.
I
never
don't.
can.
I'm not gonna bang. I'm not gonna bet on that one. I'm gonna go for six.
Yeah.
So I guess we can say there was sort of a time where it was kind of like a wet dream orgasm for him, but like I was actually writing him, mind
So
you.
yeah, so it wasn't
And
wet. You stimulated him in some
like
capacity.
it
Yeah.
doesn't count. Mind you, he was asleep and I had just gotten home from the club, from the strip club, mind you. So I was I was happy. I was like, all
You're
right,
feeling.
yeah, I was feeling.
Yeah.
fly came in and I just like essentially snuck into the bedroom, crawled in under the covers from the bottom, started eating him out, like went down on him and everything, still completely under the covers.
I've never heard someone say it like that. I'm sorry. Just
He slowly
she
starts
said
like
she
moving
said I
around.
started eating them out. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. He slowly was like, and I was like, shh, it's just a dream. And
Yeah,
he was
that's
like,
you still
okay.
stimulating him though, Sarah.
But I feel
No,
like
he's
that.
not stimulated him, but he genuinely thought it was a wet dream. He woke up the next day thinking that he dreamt it, and I was like, nah, baby, that was real.
Yeah, yeah, but he was still stimulating. You still stimulated his penis.
Combination of one and the wet dream.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of like I feel like that's as close as we're gonna get to a wet dream orgasm as
I
grown
mean,
adults.
he probably has had one in his lifetime.
I feel like we should.
I'll ask, but like probably not since he was a teenager, At
Yeah, well,
this
he
point,
might not talk about it. He might just say, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about that."
Helmets for science. We need to know for research purposes.
oh, we should do a poll. Has anyone, any male here, had a essentially wet dream orgasm as an adult?
As an
And
adult, yeah.
as a teenager, as an adult, I really am very curious. Has anyone had this? And we need a story time from.
Oh, we need to
Story time.
know.
Yeah. This is not any judgment either. I'm
No.
genuinely curious. And if you did have a wet dream orgasm as an adult, I would personally like to know what was your dream about? Like
Yeah.
what did they dream about that made them
That-
come so good in their dreams? Like
I don't know if somebody dreamed about flamingos
Bingo.
and
yes,
then wet. I need to know these
What
things.
is
I
that
know
from?
exactly.
That's gonna
Like
bother me. I'm sorry.
where is that from? I
No,
don't know.
it's a thing called like flamingo, and then someone started clapping. I have no idea what it's from. It's just in my head right now. It's a comedy skit, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But
can't.
but anyway, while you do your reels and I'm gonna Google this. But so we have reached our time. We went way over our time. But where can everybody
Where
find
can
you?
we all find you? Your social medias and all the places that we can buy your content.
Oh man. I'll give you the main ones. I'm not going to give you
Yes.
every single one.
You can get
Um,
we want everybody to find everywhere they can find you so they can buy your stuff.
okay. So you can follow me on Twitter or X. God, it's X now. I always
I
forget.
still call it Twitter.
It's X/Twitter, the bird. There and on Instagram, it's the same. It's official Karina V. And then one of my OnlyFans pages is also official Karina V. And then my other ones, I've got two. I've got like a tube style where it's all just video, 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 video. And then the other one I'm a little bit more interactive in. Um, so it just depends on what you want. If you want to just come get a nut off, there's that one. If you actually want to talk to me, there's that one. So
That makes sense.
the other one is Karina.Valentina. On many vids, it's just Karina Valentina, and on Fansly, same thing, Karina Valentina. Just it's the same all the way across the board.
Good.
So yeah, I think that's kind of it. I've got some other smaller ones that I don't really dabble into too much.
Mhm.
I'm still trying to figure out how to work them. So,
I get it.
but those are the main ones.
Plus, like, as much as we don't have to put all our eggs in one basket, like, we're only one person, so there's only so many baskets we can put our eggs in
Yeah.
at one time. So I completely understand that, just focusing on certain websites before you kind of expand to others. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Trying to keep up with everybody.
for real, that's
All
why
right.
I went and started creating other accounts, like, okay, like, like the Blue Sky. I'm like, okay, I went and created one. And then I went and created a Discord, and I don't know how to use it, but I created it. So go follow me on there, guys. But you guys can all follow me on iamsaralace.com. All of my links in my social medias will be under that one link to make it easy.
Awesome.
You can find us at the Burbank Misfits on Instagram, Burbank Misfits on Facebook, Twitter, X, and
Blue.
Blue Sky. And you can find us at burbankmisfits.com. That says everything that we do from, exercise to Sarah's stuff, her intimate stuff, us, our videography and all the other fun things. You can find me at RAWSTARR on Twitter and on Blue Sky and Instagram. I couldn't find where I get that from. It's just, I think it's from How I Met Your Mother, but it's just someone saying flamenco and they start clapping. It's, I don't know. I'm sorry
I
looking up. I'm
think
not gonna.
so, but I think it was flamenco. I think he was thinking flamingo, but I think he was doing like flamenco dancing or whatever. I think that's what it was. When you said that, I feel like I remember that one blonde guy being like flamenco.
Yeah, that's what it is. I have no
I think so.
idea. And yeah, so whatever that is, because I think it's whatever that is. But anyway, thanks for coming on. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. I think
Thank
everybody enjoyed the podcast, and I
you.
look like if you do come to X3, I'll see you there. If you go to AVN, I won't see you there. But if you go to come to any other award shows, you'll probably see me holding the camera. So be well, stay blessed. You're laughing, I'm dead serious. Be well, stay blessed, stay amazing, and we will see you later. Everybody, I'm sorry. Everybody, have a very great New Year's. I will be celebrating my birthday this entire week. You're listening to this because my birthday is on Friday from this podcast. So I will be somewhere sober, drinking Sprite, celebrating my birthday. So have a
The
great
power
day.
to come to you.
I don't drink alcohol, so
Right? He's gonna
yes,
be drinking that apple cider or whatever.
I might still be drinking
That grape
eggnog right
cider thing.
now. I might still have eggnog in my fridge. All right, be well, everybody. Stay well, stay blessed. About to hit the wrong button and stay amazing.